The name of my book is When the Red Sox Ruled, Baseball's First Dynasty, 1912 to 1918. And it tells the story of how this team came together and formed the nucleus to baseball's coming out party, if you will, as a major professional sports league in the 20th century. And it tells the story of Tris Speaker, Babe Ruth, Smokey Joe Wood, Harry Hooper, Bill Carrigan, and how they put aside their differences in the clubhouse and came together as a team on the field to create greatness. What was going on then, it was reflecting the social and cultural mores of what was going on in Boston at the time. For example, the team was split between Protestants and Catholic factions. The Protestants were known as the Masons and the Catholics were known as the Knights of Columbus. And the star center fielder for the Red Sox, Tris Speaker, who was arguably the greatest ball player ever to put on a Red Sox uniform, was a self-professed member of the Ku Klux Klan. And he and the player manager at the time, Bill Rough Carrigan, who was a really tough, hard-nosed catcher from Lewiston, Maine, they actually had a fist fight in the clubhouse to determine who would basically be running the team. And Carrigan won out. But in terms of comparing it to modern-day ball clubs, you hear a lot today, oh, in the good old days, everyone got along, everything was hunky-dory. It was far from it in the Red Sox clubhouse, and dare I say, most clubhouses throughout Major League Baseball at the time. Well, this kind of dysfunction was very common among other professional sports teams of the era. And you have to remember, this is a very primitive time in professional organized sports. Leagues are just getting underway. Here in Boston, the American League started in 1901, so it was very young. And the Red Sox dynasty didn't begin until 1912. And they're all kind of feeling their way. And I think the other factor here is that they were paid so little on average as a ball player that they all saw each other as competitors. So I think that really caused a lot of clubhouse factions and a lot of fights and really just bad overall feelings among themselves. The owners like to pit the players against one another to keep the salaries down. I think there's a big misconception between, ownership, what it is today and what it was then. And I think, I found that it's very similar. It always comes down to money. And the players were treated as kind of chattel, and I think that's very much the case today. Red Sox owner Harry Frazee, he got a lot of flack for selling Babe Ruth, but what he did was make a good business move. It got him a lot of cash so he could finance his other theatrical enterprises, and also allowed him to remain in control of the Red Sox as an organization. So I think he did not suffer fools gladly, and he saw this purely as a business move. So the whole curse of the Bambino, I think, is way overblown in that sense. Well, I think the Red Sox, as a team, ranked all time, they rank among the great New York Yankee teams of the 20th century. And really, they were baseball's first modern-day World Series dynasty. They won 4 World Series in 7 seasons. And the only other team to really match that is the New York Yankees from the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and the late 1990s. And no other organization can match that. And I think they've been overlooked when discussion of great teams come up. And they had a slew of great players, not only Babe Ruth, but you had Tris Speaker, Harry Hooper, Smokey Joe Wood. They truly rank with the best of teams overall. The book is really centered around Babe Ruth, and if there's anyone I wanted to meet today, I could sit down from that era, would be Babe Ruth. And he just had charisma to burn here. And not only was he a great hitter, we all know that, he was also a tremendous pitcher. He was a 20-game winner. One season he went head-to-head with the great Walter Johnson, arguably the greatest pitcher in all of history, and beat him 4 times in a row. I mean, not only could Ruth probably make the Hall of Fame as a hitter, he could also make it as a pitcher. If he had not gone to the outfield, he probably would have been known as the greatest left-hander of his era.